Greetings and welcome to Episode 1. We are playing Distant World Shadows. Okay, so our game is generated, and we are the Boskarans, and there's our victory conditions we set up on the way in. 100% threshold of 50, 50, and 50, economy, galaxy, population, and colonies. So we need 50% of all this in order to win. Okay, and we're the standard empire in the Age of Shadows, and basically we don't have very much in the way of space technology right now. We have to still research hyperdrives and colonization and stuff like that. So we're going to be restricted to our home solar system for the first decade or so of the game. Right now, pirates and smugglers rule the skies, so we're pretty much going to have to bend to their will until we get strong enough to actually fight them off. So a few points here on what we should do to get started. So let's just hit start playing and we'll get into it. Okay, so let's just hit pause. And one thing I'm going to do, and Das did this in one of his playthroughs, and I'm just going to rename my star. The reason I'm going to do that is because I can specifically tell this is going to be this Caspalia system. So it just adds a little more personalization to your game. So let's come over here. And the way we do that is we come into the editor. Okay, once in the editor, just double click the star and Caspalia. That's going to be our new star name. So exit editor and zoom out, and there we are, Caspalia. And the nice side effect of doing this is a lot of your ships will end up with this name, like Victory of Caspalia or Desolation of Caspalia or Caspalia Pride and stuff like that. So it adds just a little more personalization to your game. So, and one other thing I think I might do is I'm going to save this game right now before I go any further. And what I might do is actually post the save game at the Matrix forum. So anybody who wants to download the save game and fire it up and try to follow along, you can. The only problem is this game has so many random elements that we'll just end up with two completely different games. So I don't know how well that'll work, but I'm going to do it anyways. Why not? So just stand by and I'll just pause the video and go ahead and save this. Okay, all saved up. So let's see. What should we look at first? Okay, well, let's just zoom. Actually, let's look at our homeworld. Okay, so what do we got here? It's a volcanic planet. Ooh, that's a nice size, 32.7K. This is the size of the planet, and it determines things like how big your population can be, and I think it touches on a couple other issues too, but I'm not sure exactly what they are. And the quality is 99%, which is really good. This is going to be a great planet, starting at 5 billion. I've seen them start like 2.5 billion, something like that. So I think because of the higher quality or something, we got more population. So that's pretty good. There's also a scenery bonus here, 52% from the Tebrin Canyon. So we'll be able to stick a resort base here as well. And that'll actually get us some income. And the Boskarans, okay, we'll come back and we'll look at the Boskarans here in just a second. So we got 5 billion people. Our reproduction rate is plus 7%. So that's going to keep growing until it maxes out. It will max out. I'm not sure at what size. I mean, 32.7 is big. Wow. So that's that's going to get, probably upwards 20 billion people probably. So I can't wait for that. Okay, so we have some resources here. We have some Aculon, Emerus Crystal, Osalia, and Necrostone. I forget how many, exactly how many resources there are in the game, but there's quite a few. And we got some value. Culture is 100% and our happiness is plus 21. And there's our gross domestic product, 148,000. And we're taxing at 22%, which gives us 16K, which is, yep. So that's their cash flow number right there. At the moment, you can look at just one plant and figure that out because you only got the one plant. All your income's coming from there. 100% of Empire GDP. There's no corruption, and we don't have any troops. We just have some leaders and stuff on our planet. So that's our home world, and it's going to be a really nice one, I think. Yeah, there's a scenery bonus too, which is going to be very nice. So let's zoom out a bit and see what we're dealing with in here. So actually, let's just select this system. We have 11 planets and 9 moons. So that's a fair bit of stuff in here. So that's a nice starting system for sure. Okay, so we still have to explore all these. If you roll over them, you can see unknown resources. So we still have to come out and explore all this. Okay, so we have a couple of rune sites. Now that's what these 3 dots here denote. So zoom down here. There's a rune on it. You can click it, and we don't know what it is. We haven't investigated it yet, so I'll have to go and have a look at that. Actually, oh, 17%. Okay, I thought it was another colonizable planet, but 17% isn't very good at all. Okay, so what else we got in here? Is that another volcanic? Yeah, right there. Oh, excellent, excellent. Hang on. Yeah, potential colony. 97%. Wow. And 30.5. That's going to be another good planet as well. Excellent. That's too bad that one was crappy. We'd had 3. Yeah, I don't see too many game starts. You start with 3 habitable planets. Okay, so if we're looking in the mini map here, we see 2 white triangles. These are abandoned ships. So if you zoom into one of them here, yeah, okay, that one's damaged. Zoom in a bit better. Yeah, that one's pretty damaged. So I'm not going to be able to do much with that until we repair it. So I'll have to send a construction ship over to have a look at that. Repairing it is you don't want to just blow it up because there's higher tech on it. So by repairing it and then you send it to your spaceport to be disassembled, you'll get a tech bonus for it. So repair it first and then scrap it later for the tech bonus. And we also have one down here. Yeah, there it is right there. And it's a frigate. It's abandoned, so we'll have to come over. This one's in pretty good shape by the looks of it. Yep. So it's in one piece, so we just have to approach it in order to claim it. So we'll have to send an explorer or something down here. Now, the important thing about that ship is make sure you get it before the pirates do. I don't see a problem here. The pirates will come in, they'll sort of look around your homeworld a bit, then they'll probably come over and kill these slugs. There's some slugs in here. So that's usually the way they sort of show up and what they do. So they shouldn't have any reason to come down here unless they come in here with an exploration ship. So that has to be priority getting down there first. Okay, so yeah, our solar system looks pretty good. So let's see what our galactic neighborhood looks like. Okay, so we're sort of on the outer arm here. And we're pretty blank on one side, and there's storms in there too. So that's going to cause problems with ships going through here, is these storms can actually zap your ships. And we're right on the edge of that storm, so that's not looking so good there. But we'll see how that works out. But we got lots of stars on this side, so we'll have some good early game exploration going on to see what all this is about. So yeah, not a bad start. So good. That was my first generation of this game too. Sometimes I have to generate them 2 or 3 times to get something I like. But yeah, this is looking good. So I guess we'll carry on. Okay, so there's Homeworld. And let's look at our race. Okay, we're the Boskarans. And we are a ferocious insectoid race with tough brown exoskeleton skin. So we're a pretty violent and aggressive race. And we just like to fight, basically. We have an instinctive lust for conquest and expansion without equal, so nobody even comes close to us when it comes to our appetite for expansion. Our technology, we have a special technology, the Schecter Firestorm, which is an extremely destructive weapon or torpedo weapon, and it also does bombard damage to planets. So it's kind of a two-edged sword on that. Okay, so let's have a look at our stats here. We are insectoid, we live on the volcanic worlds, and our reproduction rate is 24%. So we breed like bunnies. Characteristics, we're extremely aggressive, very reckless, quite unfriendly, slightly intelligent, and very unreliable. So basically, yes, we're very aggressive, so very reckless, which means we're liable to enter wars when we're not really ready for them or don't have the right resources for it. Quite unfriendly, so we're not going to be too much on the diplomacy scene. Slightly intelligent, so we're pretty bright. And we're very unreliable, which means we don't make very good allies. We have some bonuses. We have warrior class, troop maintenance minus 25%, so that'll make your troops a little cheaper to maintain. And fierce rivalry, lower war weariness by minus 70%, which is going to be very handy, which means we can stay at war for longer periods than other people. So that's always going to be an advantage. Resource bonuses. Okay, Aculon gives us plus 5 strength bonus to new troops recruited at colonies with access to this resource. So as long as this resource is at a colony, your troops recruited there will get a plus 5 strength bonus. Now, Emmer's Crystal, a plus 5% bonus to weapons research in your empire for each colony that mines this resource. Now, that's key. This means that even though Emmer's Crystal is at your colony, if you're not mining it at that particular colony, no bonus. So you have to be mining it. And when we looked at our planet out here, we did have Emmer's Crystal. So we will be mining it, which means we will get the plus 5% bonus to weapons research. Raphidium Ale will give us 5% happiness bonus. And again, we don't have to mine it, we just have to have access to it. Okay, race victory conditions. I'll wait for another screen we're going to look at to go through that. Characters. Okay, so characters shape how your empire behaves and all that kind of good stuff. So we're less likely to generate ambassadors, colony governors, or scientists. But we're more likely to generate fleet admirals and troop generals. So we're definitely a warring race, and we're definitely set up for that. Special government is Mind Hive. Again, I'll go into that in a bit. And we already talked about the special technology, Shakhtar Firestorm. And there is no disallowed technologies. So that's what our race is all about. And if you want to read through this, then just pause the video and do so. That's fine. Okay, so that's the Boskarans. Now, what else should we look at? I guess we should maybe just get going. I don't think there's much else I need to do here. So, won't go into any of these buttons here right away. I'll go through them probably within the next few episodes. We'll be through most of these buttons. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to come into ship designs. This is the design screen here. And these are all the designs that we have enabled right at the moment. We have all kinds of military. There's bases in here. So what I'm going to do with this retrofit column, it always resets automatic for every game, but because I'm micromanaging, I'm just going to plop all these down to manual. Just bear with me while I do that. Except for private bases. I'm going to leave these retrofit on automatic. Just because we end up with so many of them, it's kind of a pain to run around and try to retrofit all of them. So I just go to automatic. I'll let the AI do it. Okay, we'll come back to ships and latest buildables. So you can sort your lists with these two drop downs here. Our maximum ship size is 160. So very small ships at the moment. And we can only build escorts and frigates. And we have explorers and construction ships as well. So I'm not going to worry about the military right now. I am interested in the exploration and the construction though. So I'm just going to modify these designs just a bit. So if we highlight it and then hit edit, because we haven't built any yet, we can still hit edit. As soon as you build one, you have to go upgrade if you want to change anything. So we're just going to hit edit for the moment. And basically what all I want to do with this is put more engines on it, make it a bit quicker. So we have a cruise of 37 right now. So I want to actually, I'm going to sort by category and then by name. It's just the sort I'm used to using, so it's a bit quicker for me to find stuff. So 37 crews. So by adding more ion engines, we've got to 40, 42, 44, and I have to add a few more things now. Our ship just got bigger, so we need some more support stuff. So that's life support and hab modules. And we'll come back to the engines, and we're going to fill it to the brim with engines. And that's all it'll take. I have to pull one back off. There we go. So that's all I'm going to do, and it gives us a cruise of 50. So that's going to be fairly quick for a non-warp ship. So save, and we're going to come into the construction ship next. And I'm going to do the same thing with the engines, but before I do that, I'm going to put a resource profile sensor on it. And this way, if the construction ship approaches a planet to build something and we don't quite know what's on it yet, like there's been no explorers to reveal that information, then at least we have this component that will give us that info. So that's my reasoning for putting that on, and it does come in handy quite often. So more engines. I usually bring the constructor down up to about low to mid 20s, and we've got to go with another hab and life support here. And back to engines, and yeah, it's like 24 is good. So we got a speed cruise of 24 now, so that'll make that construction ship just a little quicker. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do with designs in here, and if you can drop down to bases here and adjust those if you wish. Private ships. Private ships are automatically retrofitted. You have no choice in that, which is fine by me. And then we got a couple of private bases for your mining stations. Okay, so right beside that is our science tab, and I have replaced the graphic. It's usually a light bulb, but I have a beaker from the Muppets on there, just because. Okay, so first thing up is energy torpedo weapons. And right behind that technology is our special technology, Shakhtar Firestorms. Unfortunately, they're very big components right now, size 12, so we need some bigger ships in order to use these. So I'm not going to actually concentrate on that right now. I'm just going to right-click to disable the research on that. And I'm going to come down to armor plating. And I'm going to make sure we get armor first. Armor and shields are always my priority, because without those, the pirates will just cut your stuff to ribbons. Okay, and I'll queue up one more thing after it, railgun weaponry. So go with that. Railguns, I rely on those heavily. I just love the punch they deliver. They skip shields and go right to the armor. Kill the armor, and the ship will either take off or start deteriorating with more damage. So, okay, so energy collection, I'm going to wait on that, even though I probably shouldn't, but I am, because I want to come up and get shields. And then after shields, I'm going to come in and make our ships a bit bigger. So we're going to go with space construction. By getting this, we're going to increase our construction speed as well. So if you look at the rollover I have up there right now, you can see all the stuff that increases. So weapons plant, energy plants, they all go to 20,000 from 20,000 to 30,000. So that makes our construction a bit quicker. So I'm going to queue that up. And then we come into high tech and industrial. There's 3 areas. So just, you can research 3 things at a time is basically what you're doing. So weapons, energy and construction, and then high tech and industrial. Transport systems is always highlighted when I first start a game, so I always leave that, because you do need that fairly early, so I just leave that. And then I come down and I get entertainment systems and medical systems. This provides happiness components for our spaceports, which makes our colonies happier, all that good stuff. And research stations, we have none right now. Sorry, research kind of sucks. Oh, that's actually a little better than I've been seeing. It's usually like 12, 12, 12, and then maybe this at 13. So we're actually doing a bit better here. And there's our 5% bonus to weapons research from supplies of Emerald crystal at our colonies. So that's why we are a little heavier on the weapons right now. But yeah, those are usually 12, so that's pretty good. Okay, so we're going to have to build some research stations. Okay, so we come in here. This is our empire summary. 1 colony and 1 system, of course, and all the stats for that. And the government is hive mind. And we get a war wariness of minus 40%. Now remember, the Boskarans already get minus 70%. So effectively, we have minus 110% war wariness, which means we'll be able to stay at war for a lot longer than anybody we're attacking. Maintenance cost minus 5%. So that helps our overall money budget and stuff like that. Approval plus 10, a bit happier. And corruption is minus 20%. There's not a whole lot of corruption with the Boskarans. And everything else is normal. Okay, we have absolutely no ships at all. So we got to start building those. Okay, and we're the only one we know right now. So no point in sitting in that screen too long. Okay, sort by role. And we have a fleet admiral, which we have nowhere to put him right now, so we'll just leave him there. An intelligence agent, which I'm going to send on vacation for a while, because there's not much for him to do. I don't spy on pirates anymore. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I just burn up all my intelligence agents, and then I never get them back, sort of thing. So here's our leader, and he's demoralizing. Oh, that sucks. But the nice thing about... kind of need this stuff, though. Well, population growth. See, because he's demoralizing and he's always going to be sitting at our homeworld, that means any other characters at the homeworld are going to slowly decrease their skills. just because he's here. So to me, this is a bad leader, just because of that one trait. I like the population growth and the colony corruption reduction, but yeah, that demoralizing is just going to be, over time, it's just going to be too much. So I'm actually going to dismiss this one. Okay, and it's pretty safe to do this at the very beginning of the game. They generally get replaced like real quick. Later on in the game, there can be some bad side effects for dismissing your leader. But early game is usually pretty safe. Okay, and that's our editor button. We've already done that to rename our star. And victory conditions. Okay, so we're the only one we know right now. And yeah, we got to get 100% in order to pull off this victory. So we need 50% of the galaxy economy, the galaxy's population, and the number of colonies in the galaxy. So, and then our special race victory conditions are control the most home worlds, 100%, which we own our own right now. And then destroy the most enemy ships and bases in the galaxy, 0%. Exterminate and enslave the most people in the galaxy, 0%. And destroy the most enemy troops in the galaxy, currently at 0%. And there's no point in coming in any of these screens because it's pretty much just the same info. Me at the top, me all alone. Okay, so that's victory conditions. Expansion planner. You know what? I'm going to come back to this one in a minute. We'll get some stuff going first, and then we'll come back and look at that screen. So the last screen, or the first screen here, is the colony screen. And we can do all kinds of stuff here. Specifically, we'll rename it to Caspelia Prime. And we're going to set our taxes to 0%. And setting our taxes to 0% will make our people happier. As you can see, we got plus 44 now. And this number here will jump up somewhere in the 20s probably. And this planet will grow fairly quickly. So that's why I reduced the tax to 0. Now we're probably going to run into some money issues, but that's fine. It's early game. We can overcome that. And we'll watch how that unfolds in a minute here. So, and now, some stats on our colony here. So yeah, our race gives us lower war awareness by 70%, plus our government with 40. Aculon provides the plus 5 strength bonus to new troops. Emer's Crystal is mined here, so we get 5% bonus, which we saw to our weapons research. Our colony has a very high level of development. And Raphidium Mail, which we have here, apparently. Let's go to cargo for a sec. Where is it? Really? Oh, no. Where is it? Okay, that's weird. Oh, there it is. Right there. So that's Raphidium Mail. And that's what's giving us a happiness bonus here, too. Okay, and this is the cargo, which I was just in for a second. And that shows all the resources at your planet. And as you can see, we have 17,788 of steel. And some other trickle numbers here for some stuff. A lot of it's pretty low. We're not going to be able to build a whole lot with some of these numbers, but it'll get us started. And these are the resources we're actually mining here. So you'll see those numbers bigger than everything else. Troops and characters, okay. We looked at these in the character screen, so that's our intelligence agent, and that's our fleet admiral. And we have no leader at the moment because I dismissed him. I'm going to recruit one troop. And believe it or not, this helps. And we'll just garrison him. I've seen that one troop because he can pull from population to defend as well. So I've seen this one troop fight off a fair good force coming in to raid the place. So one troop is pretty good. Okay, later on we'll have to pump that up, of course. But for the early game, it's fine with just one. Okay, construction yard. And actually, we'll just skip that. I'll come back to that in a minute. This is our docking bay. It shows what ships are docked. And facilities. If there's any facilities we can build them here. And we'll get into that a bit later as well. So construction yard, time to build stuff. So first thing we need absolutely is a small spaceport. Now you might be tempted to build a construction ship first, but don't. Build the spaceport first, because what has to happen once the construction ship is built, he has to get resources to build anything. And where does he get resources? He has to dock to the space station to get them. So without a spaceport, you can't do really anything. So get the spaceport first, then any construction ships you want. And I'm going to build 2 of them just to get us started. Yeah, here's an example here. Bootlegger of Caspalia. So that's a side effect of renaming your star right there. So that just gives your game a little more customization without even really trying. Okay, so close that. Now I want some research stations. And we're going to build them around our planet. And for the simple reason that they can double as defensive bases. I'm going to put some missiles on them, and they can double as a defensive base for the early game. Okay, so the only thing about... I'm playing in a window, and you're not going to have this problem if you're playing full screen, but there's a bit of an offset to where stuff gets placed because I'm in a window. But if you're playing full screen, you can just go build and do whatever you want to do, and it'll appear right where you right-clicked. So it would appear right there. Okay. Unfortunately, because I'm in a window, I have to actually skew my view, if that makes any sense. I have to actually come over to about here. Maybe about here. And we'll build a high-tech energy or research station. Oh, yeah, it ended up right there instead. That's fine. Okay, and I will build an energy station. I'm building one of each, basically. Okay, and I will build the last weapons right there. Okay, so they're pretty much hugged around our planet. And like I said, I'm going to hop them up with some defenses, and all that will actually protect our planet quite well. I've seen all this fight off like 3 or 4 pirate ships coming in, and not a whole lot of damage I took, so it works. Okay, so we got all that set up. Now, one thing I want to do quickly now is come back into our queue. This is the queue I started with the small spaceport and the 2 constructors. I now have the 3 research stations here. So basically, I just want to move one of these constructions down to the bottom so that the space station or those research stations build first. But I definitely want 1 construction ship as soon as I can get it. So that's the queue order there. So spaceport, construction ship, the 3 research bases, and the other construction ship. Okay. And before we get going, I'm just going to come into this screen, which is our ships and bases. Okay, and here's the 3 research stations I just built. Okay, and there's pretty much everything I just queued up right here. So because they're in red, it means they're not built yet or damaged. I think if you roll over it, it says under construction. So I just want to rename these so I know what kind of stations they are. And again, they got named after Caspalia. Okay, so this one is going to be an orbital. Oops. Spell it right would help. High-tech station. Or facility is fine. And this will be a orbital energy station. And this will be orbital weapons testing. Just because our weapons are too volatile to be in an atmosphere, so we've got to test them out in space. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all we need to look at to get going. And for the pre-warp, I always go to 4x game speed. It just makes things go along a little quicker. And off we go. And I just noticed we're at 28. Oh, I've been talking for 28 minutes. We haven't actually done anything yet. So we're almost at the end of this episode already. And there's our new leader. Okay. So we'll just pause and go have a look at him. Hopefully he's a little better. Well, population growth, which sucks. And calling half the 2 things I really want right now. But as long as he's not demoralizing, that's fine. I'm not going to dismiss a second one. No, we're just going to go with him. So colony income is plus 10%. And we got a bit of a maintenance savings by 6% there too. So we'll keep him. And we will just rename him. Oop. That's our new leader. Okay, so off we go. So it takes a few minutes to build some stuff. Oh, 471 credits. Oh, it's robbery. I usually get like 2 something. Okay, this one's going to be expensive. Okay, so greetings to our victims. We have noticed we are about to attack you, but for the small price of 471 credits per month, we can avoid this unnecessary violence. So basically, they're extorting money off us so that they don't kill us. So right now, we have no ships to defend ourselves. We have to accept that. Okay, and they're saying that our ships will not suffer any unfortunate accidents until our next fee is due. Okay, so there's the pirate right there. We send an escort in. And he's now come down here to where the space slugs are. He's going to maybe take those out for us if he can do it. Okay, so this is just saying that we've avoided a pirate raid on our homeworld because we paid them off. And in the past, there were rumors of secret visitors from Star Travelers, but recently these visitors have begun to appear openly. Some are hostile, taking what they want. Others come in peace and trade. So ancient legend speaks of a time when our own ancestors traveled the stars, but with their great forgetting, all this knowledge was lost. So many people say it's time for us to go back to space, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. Okay, is he going to take these slugs out, or are we going to have to do it ourselves? Sometimes they take them out for us, and not doing very well at it. Okay, our spaceport's constructed. So now we have constructed a spaceport. This orbital base serves as a shipyard, allowing us to build more ships. And the construction of this new spaceport has galvanized the resolve of our population and is providing a short-term boost to our economy. Our new spaceport also provides a hub for trade and commerce. And as our technology progresses, we should upgrade it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's just pause for a sec. Come back over to Homeworld. And there it is. Just zoom in a little further. There we go. So there's our spaceport. So now that we have a spaceport built, let's build an exploration ship. That's the one we modified earlier to have many more engines, so should be a nice quick one. Okay. And we'll let that pirate shoot away at those down there. And I think I'm just going to pause here because we are at 32 minutes. I can't believe I talked for most of this, but at least we're up and running. So, yeah, this is looking all right. I think we're going to do all right here. I'm liking this homeworld. This homeworld rocks. 99%, 32.7. So yeah, we'll have to see. Notice the reproduction rate here, 32% now from 7%. So this place is going to grow really quick, and with it, with that growth, our value will go up, our GDP will go up, and when we do finally tax this, once it's maxed out, we're going to be making tons of cash. So that's how that's going to go down. So good. Yeah, I think we got a good start here. So if you're still with me, thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you next time.